Hiding Fire, you really can't afford to not play around Hiding Fire, unless you're in the position where you're gonna die anyways.
That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, or if you've got the brand of water or enough mana to do a dual cast afterwards. But early game it can be annoying, especially then you find out that no, it's not Hiding Fire. They're going to give themselves a Steel Breaker.
Yeah, and a Steel Breaker flashed in. You're looking at basically it's like a removal spell, since if you just honestly cast a Steel Breaker, at least the opponent has one turn to do something to it. Here, you don't get a chance to respond to it in any way, realistically.
Well, actually makes it viable, the stealth hero for Arkan.
Yeah. I've seen one person using the red raid sword with that hero, which was quite nice.
Did you guys see any Sirens on tournaments?
No.
Since all the Scream of Ghosts and all those cards, -1/-1, I mean, well, most of the Sirens used to play Swarm, and there's no point to actually play it now.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, Siren beats white. A good Siren deck is one of the few decks that beat white. And if the metagame is not prepared for it, it actually has a good game against everything else. But once you're prepared for it, it has... People basically went, okay, I can beat Siren. And they just, I just need to play a couple of cards and I can actually start beating them. And that's why all the Say came back this week, because when Siren was popular, you saw no white decks around, since they have no game against them.
I think that being said, if people start watching your deck talk video that Thanos did on mid-range green, we might see more, because that deck is very strong. I've played against him a few times with it. Thankfully, it's not too strong against blue, but against everything else, it will cause some trouble.
Actually using Alpha's Predator as his main creature.
Yeah. I've ran into Skill Word green, and if that deck becomes popular, black becomes unplayable. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, all the contagions and all the...
I'm not even joking.
Stuff. Yeah, it's all about that.
It stops all my contagions. My Pale Blue Moon doesn't do anything, when it dies. My Doomhound doesn't Deadly Blow. My Hiding Fire only deals 2 damage, which doesn't kill anything. You can't use your hero skill to finish it off. It shuts down Necromancer. It shuts down my Fallen Angel.
It's an interesting deck, that is for sure. But
it's the whole deck.
I mean, you get the Dryad Shamans and you get the Predators out of the decks, but the rest of it you gotta get it by yourself.
Yeah, true. It's quite difficult to compile. Quite a lot really good red control. Yeah.
You know, I've actually ran into a budget red control that gave me fits. Yeah. Unfortunately, I forgot the person's name because I really wanted to talk to him afterwards. But I was just so excited to win. And I maybe saw 3 rares out of his whole deck. Nice. I'm not even joking. And he just played basic cards like the 2/4/4/4 that pumps AP and a bunch of the guys that have, deal 1 damage to a higher level creature.
Defiance.
What's that skill called? Defiance. Yeah, so he ran a bunch of Defiance guys. And I don't know how it will work out against other decks, but against my deck, where all my guys tend to be higher level, his 1 and 2 drop Defiance guys just schooled me, basically. Since they were all hitting for an extra point of damage, often killing my guy before he even gets to deal damage to them.
Different options and interesting options, but it's not played that much these days. We mostly see Sake though, but I mean on items like Cecile DK and on Rush.
Sake, I think the reason Aspire isn't popular is that the cards that they need don't come in the starter decks.
Yeah.
I think that has to do a lot with it. Sake, you buy the starter decks and then you buy Mercy of Dawn and you have a tier 1 deck.
Yeah.
With Aspire, you actually have to figure out which cards you need and then get them from packs.
Yeah, looking at the pre-made decks, basically all the white ones are nice. The only nice red one is the 30k one. I mean, the white decks tend to come with nice rares.
And that's the aggro
nice
one.
rares.
That's not the control one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, I wish I remembered the person's name so I could talk to him after, because it was such an interesting deck. Like, because everyone says, oh, red control it's a really expensive deck. But I mean, I don't know how good he is against other decks, but I mean, I met him in the finals, so he
Right.
won at least 2 matches with it. And then I basically luckily top decked out of a loss.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's all it comes down to. By the way, I started playing Dragon of Omen in black, and that card is unfair. It's just so good. I took out Revolution Destroyer, which I hated in the deck, since it's a vanilla 4/4 for 6 mana. I mean, it's just so depressing to play it, and then you realize why they're playing ponies as the same slot. But because a lot of people wait until the end of turn to activate their hero, and no one expects the Dragon of Omen.
And
so you're
it's
like,
a 5/5.
and they don't get a chance to
Right,
respond
I
to
mean.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the rarest cards, so it's fair enough for people not to expect it.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually have one. Like,
I think all the elites are really nice in
every
that sense.
game I played him, he was at least a 3-for-1. He seals the hero, and then kills off 2 guys before he dies.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, if you just use your skill right away before, you can make a big advantage out of it. You don't need the Emperor Tower. Well, if you have more than one, that is.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Emperor Turret is, if they, for example, a lot of times the deck will go, even the red deck, I'll leave 6 mana up with the Leah, and you know, okay, they're planning to put 3 safeguards at the end of your turn, right? You go, okay, I'm gonna play my dragon, so now your guy gets sealed, and you just skipped your whole turn and didn't do anything with it.
I think it's instant, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even
It's
if
just
he's
such a
waiting to
big
actually
tempo
use a skill
blow.
like Leah Smith, it doesn't matter because it's a drop like
Yeah, he
creature.
can't.
It's straight.
Yeah, it's a
It can be
creature.
interesting.
There is no
Yeah.
response to it. That's
Things
why
like
it's so much
yeah,
better
it's like the Archsage and Alchemist in that sense,
Yeah,
and
that's why it's
Ponies
so much
itself.
better than the turret, because the turret you have to activate it before they can use it, which means
No, I think with the tarot, if you flip your tarot, they can
Right.
use their skill as an instant. If they use
can,
their
yeah.
skill, you can't use the tarot as an instant because Carte says no, it's already been cast, so it'll go through anyway.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the turret, you
So
have to
it's-
preemptively do it, which means they're not leaving mana up to actually
Yeah.
use the thing, and it doesn't create as big
Alright
as
guys,
a
so just
blowout.
to make it quick, what are your predictions for next week? What's gonna emerge and what's gonna go down?
I think more people are gonna start playing military procurement in all types of different decks. It's just so good in any kind of deck that tries to play the long game. That's the card that I'm seeing, like, just become good everywhere. And with the
Yeah, I
rise
agree.
of the popularity of white, I'm expecting green to become more popular again, because people are gonna change their decks to be it white, which will make them weak to green. And once people start playing green, everyone will change back and green will fall out of favor. It's true though. It's like you just have to guess which
Well, I do think
stage
that
you're in.
Reserve down decks are slowly going down. I mean, most people actually now have any. They use cards to actually remove those items or just like increase the AP cost or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is hating it out. It's not easy, but if you can deal with the Mercy of Dawn, you have some game plan long term, or you can rush them. Then yeah.
So probably CK will go down. I mean, I don't see how
I
Ketterin's
think
gonna
we
go
will
up. They
see.
don't have any 2/4 good cards so far. They have a good control, but you have to be a good player to actually like predict what's gonna happen to you in the next turn, and using those good combos like Rotten Hound and Party of the Dead. And yeah. What about you guys, FSO and Trice?
I think I'll be the cynical vote on the panel, and I'll say I think we'll see more summon evil Japanese decks with exalted angels in them. I think we'll see more gimmicky ghost decks.
Well, I think
Ghost
we'll,
is on the rise lately, so it's not about to go
Yeah.
down anytime soon. I agree
I
with
f-
that.
but I think we're gonna see the Ghost with Summon Evil. I don't think we're gonna see as much pure Ghost anymore. That deck just
Yeah.
Yeah.
seems
End game. I
straight
mean,
up
after
weaker
10 turns, it's
Yeah,
weak.
it's
than.
got too many.
It's not viable anymore.
Also, I don't
Not yet, though.
expect Blue Burn to come back because Ghost is almost as cheap to make. I mean, Blue Burn, one of the advantages was that it was a ridiculously cheap deck
Hmm.
to make, and it could steal games against anyone except Psych. And I don't. With the 2 bonus HP, we're talking they need an additional card and 3 more mana to
Yeah,
win.
it's an extra ice bolt. Yeah.
And between that and the better aggro options available, like the new flavor of the Ghost deck, I think that's where